Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carter is made to feel guilty by Brooke, and Poppy begs an enraged Finn to keep their secret. Finn shouts at Poppy in his office that he ought to have been informed. In addition to robbing him, she also robbed Luna. She had no intention of denying one of them anything, Poppy protested. Well, says Finn, you did. Something you weren't authorized to do. I couldn't have a relationship with my daughter because of you. Assessing the recasts, the greatest and worst replacements in soap history. Additionally, Bill is on his way to the motherlode of tales. Luna hears will tell Elektra at Bill's house that the girl his father believed to be his daughter was actually a phony paternity test. She is now where she belongs, in prison. Will nearly had a sister, which Elektra finds amazing. When Elektra asks her name, Will responds, a sister who was a criminal. Luna, Will says. Luna Nozawa smiles from where she is hiding. When Steffi walks inside the Forrester estate, she sees her parents canoodling and kissing. Ridge inquires about the company's progress. Steffi is making every effort to be cordial with the traders. Taylor inquires about her strategy for driving them out. She claims that although she is still going forward with it, she will have to launch an all-out offensive. Steffi says that she's frustrated. She is unaware of Carter's nighttime sleeping habits. She must think that he realizes in his heart that what he did was wrong. Ridge continues by claiming that they stabbed them in the back. Steffi questions whether Carter has truly forgiven himself. He must be struggling with this. Ridge wants to know what she's thinking and saying. As Carter wraps up a work call at Forrester, Brooke walks into the office. She observes that he is becoming quite at ease behind that desk. Aren't you? Carter boasts about the expansion he has been putting in place. His ability to realize his vision has amazed Brooke. All Carter wants is for Ridge to have been involved. Do you have any regrets? Asks Brooke. Carter queries her meaning. Was it worth it? Asks Brooke, who claims that Ridge was his best friend. She questions his true feelings about becoming control of Forrester Creations. She draws attention to the human cost, the people he deceived and harmed. She is curious about his thoughts about removing a business from those who saw him as family. Carter regrets that Steffi detested everything Logan so much that he was left with no other option and that they were unable to see the possibilities of his vision. It will be better there with him taking over. According to Brooke, they ought to refer to it as a coup. She questions whether she made too many sacrifices now that she is the CEO. You mean your relationship with Ridge, thinks Carter. Poppy begs Finn to understand at his office. She told herself that she didn't want to burden him with a child, according to Finn. Bull, he yells. You didn't want what we had done to be revealed, it would have been awful for him, according to Poppy. And, most importantly, for you, replies Finn. I have a daughter too, he says, amazed that Hayes isn't his only child. I had to explain to everyone how you were helping around the house. You withheld my daughter from me. Poppy, you lied to me. You lied. Poppy maintains that she didn't want to destroy Luna's father's life since she wasn't positive who he was. They could have conducted a test, shouts Finn. She prevented him from getting to know his daughter. Perhaps she made a mistake, Poppy replies. Finn shouts, perhaps. Poppy begs for his forgiveness. Finn sighs, pardon you? Poppy claims that she was acting in his best interests. He contends that she was acting in her own best interests. It was awful enough what you did to me, but Luna? See what our daughter became into. He laments that she ignored him and brought up a killer. Will laughs in Bill's home that his father wanted him to welcome Luna into the family. Everything was a huge scam. What did he think of her, wonders Elektra. According to Will, she was a pretty girl, a beautiful girl, and she appeared kind enough. Luna is ecstatic to hear this, from where she hides. Wood goes on to argue that since she would be incarcerated for the remainder of her life, none of that matters. Will responds that Luna killed 2 men because she was so adamant about being his father's daughter when Electra questions what she did. Her real father might have been one of them. Electra inquires as to how she was discovered. Will claims that after Steffi learned, Luna took her hostage. She will spend the rest of her life behind bars and is no longer a part of their lives. Luna Nozawa will never be seen again. They discuss whether the morally upright Carter left the Forrester living room. This stinks so bad because Ridge didn't see that individual. Steffi is aware of her father's suffering. She reminds us that Carter betrayed his best buddy, and it's likely already affecting him. Ridge inquires as to whether she is implying that he will discover his conscience and return control of the business to him. Steffi must think that the man he once was still exists in his heart. He must be going through a lot of introspection right now, but hope got to him. Although he doesn't recognize himself at the moment, Ridge wants to think she's right. Taylor cautions that he is currently engrossed in Hope's world. Steffi will assist Carter in recalling his principles or the true nature of Hope. She will put an end to their rule at Forrester in one way or another. They will soon go. Whatever is necessary. Carter asks Brooke if she wishes she had declined the CEO position at Forrester. Although Brooke doesn't say it, she is aware that he has a conscience. Ridge and Eric's ingenuity made this company what it is today, after decades of hard work by Eric and Stephanie. Knowing that he took it from them, how can he possibly live with himself? Carter laments that none of this would have occurred if Ridge and Steffi had simply paid attention to him. According to Brooke, they listened, considered his suggestions, and rejected it. Cutting hope for the future was terrible, but so is what they're doing. And I believe you know that in your heart. In Finn's office, he believes that if he had had access, Luna might not have been sentenced to life in prison. Poppy sobs for appending his life, saying, "If I had been there, none of this would have happened." "I was 18, shouts Finn. "If I had a daughter, I still had a right to know." "In your opinion, what sort of man am I?" Finn keeps shouting that he was entitled to know. Poppy objects, saying, "I did it for you." One of the worst things a person can do, according to Finn, is to keep a parent and child apart. If he had been given the chance, he may have improved Luna's life. This alters everything, since she deceived him in the most terrible way. Poppy grabs him and tells him he can't, saying, "I have to tell Steffi." How does he believe his wife will respond to Luna kidnapping her? Her sister would never view any of them the same way again, and it would also destroy her hopes of a connection with her. There is no benefit to saying anything. He can't really have a connection with Luna anyhow. She implores him to conceal this. Nobody is able to find out that Luna is your daughter. Carter was impacted by Daphne's allure, and Finn lost it when Poppy revealed why she had kept Luna's paternity a secret. Finn shouts at his office that Poppy took his daughter away from him. She refused to let them date. Poppy makes an effort to defend herself, but he believes it's all nonsense and that she hid what she did for personal gain. Join SoapSpoilers.com as a subscriber. Receive SoapSpoilers.com's most recent post updates and more directly in your inbox. My daughter is mine. My daughter is mine. You withheld my daughter from me. Poppy, you lied. The doctor responds, "You lied." He charges her with acting solely in her own best interests. Take a look at what she made their daughter into. She brought up a killer. Luna might not have killed people or attacked Steffi if he had assisted her. So what if he was 18? In your opinion, what sort of man am I? He inquires. According to Poppy, she did this for him. He claims that the worst thing someone could do is to keep him away from his child. Everything changes when she betrays him in the most terrible way. Steffi tells him that telling her will ruin their relationship with Lee. The truth won't reveal anything, and he can't be in a relationship with Luna anyhow. She is his daughter, but no one can tell. Luna overhears Will telling Electra at Bill's that his father was thrilled to have a daughter, but that she actually fabricated a paternity test. Will corrects Electra, who thought her name was Lucy, and Luna grins as he says her name. He clarifies that it was all a scam, even if his father wanted him to embrace his sister. Although he didn't have much time with Luna, she appeared like a good person. A lovely girl, he continues. She will be incarcerated for the remainder of her life. Behind the grill, Luna continues to smile. Will informs Elektra of all of Luna's transgressions and reiterates that she will spend the rest of her life behind bars. Elektra finds all of this absurd. He doesn't understand the point, but she wants to hear more. It's finished. Steffi stops Ridge and Taylor as they are making out at Eric's. Seeing them together never gets old to her. She keeps them informed about the progress of her plot to remove Carter and Hope. Since her strategy isn't progressing as quickly as she had hoped, she is beginning to reconsider it. Steffi intends to assault them from every angle. She's still baffled by Carter's nighttime sleeping habits. They discuss how Hope caused him to lose all moral character. Steffi is certain that Carter is feeling the effects of all of this. According to Ridge, the man who snatched them away didn't look like Carter. Steffi is sure that will wear him down. Ridge doesn't think his morality will force him to return the business. Although her parents are certain that Carter has a strong moral compass at this time, Steffi believes he is conducting some introspection. Their daughter will stop at nothing to get Carter and Hope out of Forrester. Brooke interrupts Carter at Forrester as he is on the phone with someone regarding accessories. She is amazed by his ability to bring his idea to life and observes that he is becoming at ease behind the large desk. He wishes Ridge had been able to recognize the potential and participate. Was it worth crossing my best friend, says Brooke. They are taking things to new heights, he says, laughing uneasily. She inquires as to his feelings over betraying those who saw him as a member of the family. He assures her that he and Hope had no other option and feels awful that they made a poor decision. According to Brooke, it was a coup. She is the CEO, he reminds her. She questions whether she made too many sacrifices for it. She is suffering from being away from Ridge. According to Carter, she seems to have regrets. She is aware that he also has a conscience. After robbing Stephanie and Eric of their business, Brooke is unsure of how he would manage to live with himself. He asserts that if they had simply paid attention to him, none of this would have occurred. Brooke reiterates that both his actions and the company's current state are wrong. Steffi is forced to make a decision after Finn refuses to keep Luna a secret. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, John Finn Finnegan answered a persistent query. However, the response he provided twice raises a serious issue that will be difficult to handle. One aspect of Finn's happy family life is that he has remarkably reconciled with Sheila Carter Sharp, his birth mother. Naturally, Luna Nozawa, that notorious villain's granddaughter, was born. However, when Lee Finnegan, Finn's mother, and Steffi Forrester Finnegan, his wife, find out that Luna is Finn's daughter, they are about to legitimately express their strong feelings. Lee Finnegan's instincts were perfectly accurate. According to the conventional calendar, spring is still a long way off. In this version of Los Angeles, California, however, every baseball fan is aware that their great club will shortly begin spring training. When comparing Lee's instincts, which she determined were incorrect, such allusion is appropriate. Lee was mistaken in her suspicions that her sister, Poppy Nozawa, was having an affair with Jack Finnegan. However, it seemed sense that Lee had long held that suspicion. Lee found out about Jack's betrayal of Sheila in more recent years. Lee was correct when she said that Poppy was not feeling right and that she was staring at the wrong man. A certain marriage is solid, says Steffi Forrester Finnegan. Yes, Steffi and Finn's marriage is strong. By separating himself from Sheila, he demonstrated his dedication. In one of the more sinister plot lines in the history of the show, she shot him and Steffi. Among the many hardships this couple has faced is Luna's abduction of Steffi. But Steffi's instincts were the sole reason that happened. As loyal fans remember, Steffi followed Luna to the apartment complex where her and Poppy resided after realizing something was off when she saw her kiss Bill Spencer. Luna kept Steffi in the building because it was going to be demolished. During the demolition, Luna had every intention of leaving Steffi in a huge metal cage where she would be crushed to death. That result was intended to quiet Steffi for all time and preserve her desire to stay with Bill. It will be a shocking revelation when Steffi finds out that Finn's daughter is her intended murderer. John Finn Finnegan is deserving of respect. Finn will not hide this paternity revelation if he maintains his character. He'll let Lee and Steffi know. Luna's covert presence at Bill's estate adds to the suspense of this story. Finn therefore thinks he is aware of the location of his daughter's detention. However, as Poppy recently discovered, she is not incarcerated in the conventional sense. Since Poppy just informed Lee and Steffi that Luna is missing, Finn is probably going to tell them about it. Finn will be determined to find his daughter, so the four of them will work together to find their recently discovered family member. Finn had always taken pleasure in being the calm amid the tumult, the steady force in the storm, but now he felt himself falling apart as that sense of control slipped from his grasp like sand. The truth of Luna's paternity, Poppy's deception, and the innumerable secrets and betrayals that had built on top of one another until they were too much for him to handle had completely upended his world. He had lived his entire life with the conviction that he knew who he was, that his decisions were significant, and that he had some control over his own fate. Now, however, it seemed as though all of the choices had already been made for him, his future was unclear, his present was out of control, and his past had been rewritten. What's the worst? He was clueless on how to stop it. His thoughts were a jumbled mix of uncertainty, sadness, and rage, and his mind was racing. He was unable to think clearly. He had trouble falling asleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Poppy's face and heard her pitiful and frantic attempts to explain why she had not told him the truth. His world had changed beneath her feet, and he saw Luna, her eyes wide with disbelief. He noticed Steffi standing at the doorway, her face vacillating between worry and annoyance as she watched him unravel. Then there was Bill Spencer, a man who had got himself into this mess somehow, pretending to have some claim on Luna, to have some right to be involved in something that had nothing to do with him. Finn's breathing was labored and his thoughts were racing as he paced the length of his office, with shaking hands. He couldn't continue in this matter. He sought answers, but he kept running into more questions, half-truths, and dishonesty everywhere he looked. How could Poppy have hurt him like this? After all these years, how could she still look him in the eyes and remain silent? And why did he think she was still hiding something, that there was more to the story? His stomach turned over at the thought, and a new rush of anger erupted within him. His anger seemed to be the only thing preventing him from utterly collapsing, even though he had never been an angry guy or one to lose his temper. He wanted to find Poppy and shake the truth out of her until she had nothing left to conceal, to scream, to smash something. However, he knew in his heart that nothing would change. The damage was already done. He would never be able to regain the years he had spent with Luna. Even Steffi, who had attempted to calm him down and act as the voice of reason, was becoming frustrated. The previous evening, her voice was piercing with frustration as she admonished him, "Finn, you have to get a grip. No one is benefiting from you losing yourself in this. Not me. Not Hayes. Not Luna. I don't know how to help you if you won't allow me, and you're on a downward spiral." But he didn't even know how to help himself, so how could he let her in? In an attempt to center himself and prevent himself from sinking into the craziness that threatened to devour him, he ran a hand through his hair, holding on to the strands fiercely. He couldn't continue in this manner. He had to take action. He had to do something. Then the thought came to him. The test for DNA. There was something about it that bothered him. Desperate for the truth, he had accepted the results at face value, but now he wasn't so sure. What if someone had interfered with the test? What if the results had been falsified by Bill, Poppy, or someone else? He'd witnessed enough treachery to know that anything could happen. The idea made his heart race, a fresh sense of purpose, piercing the haze of his collapsing thoughts. He had to test the DNA again. He required evidence that the outcomes were genuine, that Luna was actually his daughter, and that this was not just another devious ruse. His fingers shaking with a mixture of fear and excitement, he reached for his phone and contacted the lab without further thinking. At least he would know for sure if the outcomes were the same. He wasn't sure what he would do, though, if things had changed and he had been deceived once more. All he knew was that he was running out of time and sanity, and he wasn't sure he would ever find his way back if he didn't receive answers quickly. Here are the spoilers for the week of February 10, 2025, on The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans can anticipate Daphne Rose undermining Hope Logan and Carter Walton next week. Steffi Forrester Finnegan might become alarmed by the absence of Luna Nozawa in the meanwhile. That might result in the disclosure of Bill Spencer's secret. Let's discuss what will happen in the CBS soap opera next week as you continue reading. Daphne Rose's aim. According to BNB spoilers for the week of February 10, Daphne is already pursuing Carter in a sensual manner. Carter hasn't deceived Hope Logan yet, despite Daphne's temptation. The Bold and the Beautiful, do you want more? Receive the most recent information on The Bold and the Beautiful delivered directly to your inbox. Hope didn't show her jealousy, despite cutting off a conversation between Carter and Daphne. Hope understands how important it is to have Daphne on board, and she most definitely does not want to jeopardize everything by shoving Carter away. Spoilers for BNB, Carter Walton's heart is broken. Next week, Carter might discover that his heart is starting to split. For Valentine's Day, Carter will probably organize a romantic evening. But Carter and Hope's wonderful evening could be ruined by Daphne and Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood. February 10, 2025, week. According to spoilers for the week of February 10 on The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan may experience heartbreak once more. Brooke made an attempt to speak with Ridge Forrester, but her requests will once more be ignored. Ridge will probably have some more romantic surprises for Taylor Hayes, while Brooke will be crushed. Could they be going too quickly, even though Tridge will enjoy their romantic reunion? Spoilers for the week of February 10, 2025 on The Bold and the Beautiful. John Finnegan will likely continue to spiral out over the paternity test next week. Penelope Poppy Nozawa has angered Finn with her deceit. Finn must also choose whether to reveal Poppy or to keep it a secret. Finn had already made an effort, at all costs, to be completely honest with Steffi. However, Finn has discovered that sometimes being honest isn't the best course of action. Can Steffi and Finn's marriage last once Steffi learns of their hidden love child? Poppy, meantime, will be concerned about Luna Nozawa's, Lisa Yamada, fate. Lee Finnegan, whom Poppy had previously spoken to, was furious. Poppy may then speak with Bill Spencer. Poppy may ask Bill to inquire about Luna with his contacts in prison. How will this tale conclude with Luna right in Poppy's face? What is the plot that you are most excited to see?